Stigma and shame is tricky because as a kid, when I was little, I didn't know I was poor. Someone had to kind of come in and tell us that we were deprived and poor, and our community didn't know anything. Which that's not true, but like pretty much that's what they came and told us, right? So like I went to a middle school that was a hippie school. Best thing that ever happened to me. I went to school with children who had extreme privilege, right? Extreme privilege, who had lots of money. And I got to see their houses. And it was unbelievable because like one little boy went to his living room, literally my whole apartment could fit into his living room. So his parents had gone out of the country and he had somebody looking after him. And whoever was looking after him, her mother had died and she had to go out of the country. And he came to school and we didn't know he had money. He came to school and he said, "I'm hungry. Does anybody have any bread or anything I could take home?" So all the kids brought food and stuff. And we were like, "Where's your," and then he said, "How do you wash clothes?" So we're like, "Well, we'll show you. Do you have a washer and dryer at your house?" Because a lot of us didn't, I didn't. And he was like, "Yeah." And so we're like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll show you how to wash clothes." So then we get to his house and it's this gigantic house. Nobody was there though. He literally had no food. And so we had brought like sandwich meat and bread and fruit. And he said nobody was coming for another week and a half. And then we showed him how to wash clothes. But it was like, how can he have all this access and be hungry and dirty? Like that didn't even compute. But at the same time, I saw what I didn't have, right? He had a playroom and a room. He had a pool on his house, on the top of his house, which I still couldn't understand. Like he had a pool on his roof and I kept going, how does that work? Aren't they afraid water's gonna But like this kid had all of this and he was hungry. There was a stigma that all of the people where I lived were bad parents and all the people who had houses like that were good parents. And it just wasn't true across the board, but there was a stigma on my community that wasn't there on his. Like nobody was calling child protection on his parents to be like, you abandoned your kid. Whereas if somebody in my community had done that for 2 days, we'd have been in foster care, right? A lot of the wealthier parents drank a lot, but they weren't considered alcoholics or luscious. They just had fine taste in wine. Where in my community, they were drunks, right? And so like the internalized racial oppression comes in from the fact that you start, and self-shame starts with okay, well, what's wrong with us? If we're good people and people love their children and they're good, well, why is this happening? You must be doing something wrong. What's wrong with us?